So let's get started with the easiest, which are LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT. These are great because they are loaded with instructional data that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. To get started, simply choose a tool. ChatGPT works well, but others will also do the trick. Any free model will be just fine for this. Once you're there, give it a few details about your church. You'll particularly want to let the AI know where your church is located. If you're in a larger municipality, you might want to put in the neighborhood. For example, we put Midtown Atlanta, Georgia. Also detail if you're new or established in the area. You'll also want to indicate what type of page this is for example, your home page. And then last of all, I asked it to just list the best keywords in order. Once you have all those details, simply select enter. It's going to load for a minute. And as you can see, most of them involve some sort of geographical marker, such as Midtown Atlanta, the word church, and what denomination my church is a part of. Now you can ask LLMs for numbers on volume to help you choose the best keyword, but they're usually off and sometimes they're entirely made up. The best way to find the metrics you need to decide on the top keyword for your page is to enter its top 3 to 5 into an external tool. There are 3 free tools that we'll cover, and you can find a link to each in our study guide. The first one is Answer the Public. Before I pop over to Answer the Public, I want to grab one of these keywords. As you can see, I put in churches in Midtown Atlanta. The tool lets you also search for Bing, YouTube, TikTok, Amazon, Instagram. I would always select Google just because you're dealing with churches in local areas that don't have a lot of volume. Probably won't find a lot of volume metrics that appear for these other ones. In the case of churches in Midtown Atlanta, there are 110. This number right here just indicates how costly it would be to advertise for this term if you wanted to. Usually the higher the number, the more difficult it is to rank for. And that might have been why the AI suggested these other terms first, especially since I'm a new church in Atlanta, Midtown. It might be more likely that I can get in front of people searching for these terms. Another tool you can use, especially because this only gives you 3 free searches a day, is SEMrush. And I'm going to use the same keyword here. You will have to sign up for a free account. However, it doesn't cost you a thing. Like Answer the Public, it will limit how many searches you can make in a given day. What I like about this one is that it gives a difficulty number. And we'll move on to the final keyword tool, which is Google Ads Keyword Planner. Now, you don't have to have an active ads account to use this tool, which makes it free. All you have to do is sign up for one, put your budgets at 0, and then go to the keyword planner. What's nice about this tool is that it doesn't have any limits. So let's say I wanted to get forecasts on all the keywords that ChatGPT suggested. I would simply copy the whole thing and paste them in. You'll notice all the numbers are a little bit different in each platform. That's fine. Each one has a different way of measuring the number of searches. The goal is to just find keywords with enough that register in the system. If you want to export all the keywords and get the data in a spreadsheet, you can do that. All you have to do is simply select the download right here. Each of these keyword tools are very handy. However, you don't need to go into the in-depth search on the quantity of searches. If you do it, I would suggest only going after your homepage. That's going to be the primary page people interact with. That's one that's helpful to have the most optimized. For the other ones, you can easily rely on just the ChatGPT method or large language method. They're pretty good at picking out the best keywords to begin with. Now that you know how to find the perfect keyword for your church's pages, you want to make sure your page is optimized. Optimizing a page for a church doesn't take very long, especially because you only need to really focus on three key elements. Those are title tag, meta description, and H1 header. You might not have heard of these terms before, but you've definitely seen them thousands of times on the web. Let's look at church services in Bloomington, Minnesota, for example. I typed this into the search. This is the result I received. You always see the map pack right here, which we'll cover a little later. And then beneath, you'll see all the regular search results. The title tag for each of these pages will be this hyperlinked text. The text beneath it is the meta description. And if you clicked into any one of these pages, the primary header that appears on the page would be the H1 header. It's the most important header on the page. There should only be one H1 header on the page. This all might seem pretty technical, but it doesn't have to be. In this video, we show you how to cut the process down to 2 minutes or less. All you have to do is follow the steps, take the prompt it uses, and enter it into any large language model like ChatGPT. You can get the link to the bot command right here. It's pretty detailed. It gives a lot of rules for the bot to follow, specifically maintaining the character limit guidelines. One of the things that can happen is that your text can get truncated, as you can see here with this ellipse at the end. That can be fine, but if it truncates too much of the text, it's not going to make the main title very clickable. Having a title tag and a meta description that is engaging and clickable improves the click-through rate, which pushes churches up the search engine results pages. So if you wanted to use this, a lot like the other ones, simply copy and paste the whole thing, go into a bot of your choice, enter it in here. It's going to think for a moment, and then it's going to ask you for a few details. For the primary keyword, simply choose one of the keywords that ChatGPT gave you earlier in the process we just demonstrated. Put that in there. And make sure you get your geographic location, organization name, and other details that it's asking for. And again, you can find a link to the video along with its free prompt in our study guide. There are other elements to the page that our bot doesn't do for you, such as on-page content. But search engines have really worked hard to advance themselves in such a way that it selects the best content to show its users. So, for any text you create, ask yourself 2 questions. Is this useful to a member or a visitor checking out my site? And 2, is there anything missing that they might be looking for? Generally, if you take it through these 2 key tests and include the 3 elements we covered, your page will be more optimized than most. In the next video, we'll show you the tool that works the hardest for a church, providing the most results at no cost, and we'll explain how to optimize it quickly. Also, don't forget to grab your free SEO for Churches study guide, linked below. It has all the free tools and resources you'll need to master SEO quickly and effectively. For a free SEO course designed specifically for churches, check out the complete playlist in the description. It covers everything you need to turn your website into a growth engine. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and ask any questions you have in the comments. Remember, we're always here to help your church grow. See you next time.